Hey guys, it's Simone here. Welcome back to my channel. So it's February, you know what that means? It's Black History Month. So in this video, I am going to talk about several misconceptions and probably some things you just didn't really realize about Black History Month and Black history more broadly. So make sure you stay tuned. Every year we are inundated with performative activism by and large from companies, corporations, and businesses that are attempting to honor Black culture and highlight Black history in America. But more often than not, that messaging really does fall short. And of course, Black business is significant. Black dollars, Black consumers are very significant to the market. And if we can placate to this group and demographic, that'll be good for business. And then we're definitely still coming off at the heels of 2020, where there was so much performative activism around Black culture and Black people, and we're still continuing to see that. So we see, Bath and Body Works wrapping their candles in kente cloth, and, McDonald's, and just any company you can think of. First thing I wanted to mention was the history of Black History Month. So it actually originated in 1926. Carter G. Woodson, who I really hope you know who Carter G. Woodson is. I'm not even going to explain it to you. You're going to go and do your own research about Carter G. Woodson and the significance of this historical figure. He's referred to as the father of Black history. But in 1926, he established what was then referred to as Negro History Week, right? So obviously in the 1920s, Black people were not called Black people, okay? So it was a Negro History Week. And the reason that he established it in February is because there were already these celebrations around Frederick Douglass's birthday, and you should know who that is too, and Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And so they were seen as these two very prominent figures in Black history, Black culture. So there were all these party celebrations, acknowledgements in the month of February for those two figures. And so he wanted to center it around that time to kind of like piggyback on those celebrations. There's a focus happening on Black culture during February. Let's capitalize on that to really ensure that a lot of attention is paid to this. Black history is seen as like this subset, this subgenre of American history. It's like Black history overall in America, like American history. Like the two are merged together forever. You can't separate them. When you think about how this country was stood up and how it emerged off of the backs of enslaved Africans and the blood of murdered indigenous peoples, you don't get to just pull that apart from whatever you're referencing in terms of American history and create this narrative that American history started with these founding fathers, these murderous, colonizing, slave-owning founding fathers. Who has really established and been able to write and tell the story of Black history. It has been, the descendants of slave masters and slave owners. They have been able to control the narrative around what is in the history and what isn't in the history. We're going to ignore this. We're not going to write this down. We're not going to tell that story again. You have already watched my video talking about white supremacy. You've already watched my video talking about bigotry and bias, right? Yes, we're nodding our head. Yes, we've watched those videos because understanding that is so critical. It's all about power and control. Right? If you live in a white supremacist society, the power and the control is with people that have that white racial identity. And it is in their best interest to ensure that narratives don't exist that paint them to be the villain, that paint them to be oppressors, that doesn't paint them in a light that would allow them to safely and securely maintain their power and control. So controlling the flow of information and knowledge is absolutely imperative. The people that learn the most about Black history during Black History Month are non-Black people. Of course, that's not to say that we Black people, we don't learn anything about our history during February. But the thing is, we talk to each other about our history year round. We're talking about Black history all the time. We are doing research into our past all the time and teaching that to our babies and across our community all the time. We do not wait until February to start having these conversations. Non-Black people wait until February to start having these conversations. If you don't talk about Black history in any other context throughout the year, then you obviously don't care about it. You don't value it. You don't think that it is important or that it is significant to the overall history and the foundation of the country. And that obviously goes immediately to your anti-Blackness. This video is not for me to say, let's do away with Black History Month. We need to take control. We as in Black people, and then we also as in just Americans in general, there needs to be this shifting of what it has been and how we have looked at it to something else that is actually more productive or more beneficial to Black people. Even with Carter G. Woodson and establishing Negro History Week, from his perspective, it wasn't like, oh, this is just going to go on forever. We're going to have Negro History Week in the month of February. He understood and felt very strongly about the fact that this needs to just be a normal, right, normalized part of the way we teach history. During the month of February, it's just easy living being a Black person in America.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Black people are not getting raises at work, bonuses at work, additional PTO, right? Additional autonomy, being promoted more. There are no reparations being handed down from the United States government. There is no tangible benefit there to the Black community during the month of February. It is ceremonial. If you are bringing in Black content creators during the month of February, or just at any point to come and bring this Black perspective to your organization, if you're tapping into Black staff members to stand up and give presentations about their community, which is just not appropriate, but should you choose to do that, run the check, okay? Where's their bonus? Where is their increase in pay to do that labor for you? If you're bringing in Black creators, writers, photographers, storytellers, speakers, whatever that looks like. Where's the money? Where's the money? Because Black creators are disgustingly underpaid. That is how you demonstrate your appreciation for the culture, right? Because we know, trust me, baby, we know how much you love our culture, okay? It's quite clear, okay? You don't love us as a people, but you love the culture. Only telling the stories and giving visual imagery to the most depraved conditions of enslaved Africans and descendants of enslaved Africans, through Jim Crow era, but these visceral, jarring, traumatizing images that are not dramatized, okay? Because we know that not only did they happened much worse than anything that's even on film or even been documented. But when it comes from this, entertainment space and this system that obviously is still wrapped up in white supremacy, like every other system in this country, it takes on a more kind of insidious perspective, because it's like, this is how you see us. You see us as being these victims, as being so broken, so battered and so bruised. And you don't see us as being beautiful and free and in other kind of capacities other than in our pain. If when you think of Black people, you think of brokenness and you think of trauma and you think of degradation, and nothing in your mind thinks of like joy and beauty and color, that's some anti-Blackness right there. We are not broken. Okay, we might be a little battered, a little bruised, a little traumatized. Okay, it just is what it is. But that's not who we are as a people. And on the other end, you have this complete unwillingness to acknowledge any of that. And that's usually what you see in education, where we're only going to talk about MLK because he was peace and love. And he was, don't judge me by the color of my skin. And he was, we shall overcome. And he was nonviolent. And he was all of these things that you made him up to be with your lies. You're teaching the babies that nothing bad ever happened. And if it did, it was a quick little blip. There was slavery. And then the next year they had civil rights. And then we're present day. Like this is the story. This is the narrative. All these gaps, all these knowledge gaps, all these years where there was just no record there. of the contributions and the life and the culture of Black people. You are uncomfortable, okay, more than likely as a non-Black person, talking about, and sometimes as a Black person as well, talking about what you see as a blight in history. So let's ignore it? No! What in the white fragility is going on here? Okay, like what's happening? And again, if you have not already watched my video talking about white supremacy, I touched on white fragility. If you don't know what that is, it plays into what happens during Black History Month and how Black history is told overall. I hope that you have found some other fun and innovative ways to mark and celebrate Black History Month. Sound up in the comments and let me know what you do. How have you chosen to take this time and to share with your students, if you're an educator especially? As a parent, how do you talk to your kids about Black history? What does that look like for you? Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss out on any of the future content that I have coming your way.